Hello there. So finally, I'm conducting this chapter that is known as idea generation. And this chapter is for writing tasks. You cannot use this chapter for your speaking, and definitely in listening and reading, we do not have any idea generation requirement. So this is for writing task. More specifically for writing task 2. And if you're an IELTS general candidate, then you can apply this for writing task 1 as well. But if you're IELTS academic candidate, then this chapter is not for you for writing task 1. Okay? But this chapter is for writing task 2, for general, for academic, it does not matter. And this chapter will also be useful for those candidates who are going to give IELTS general, and they can use this for writing task 1 as well. Alright? But when I will take you through this chapter, please keep in mind only writing task 2. Okay, so this is specifically designed for writing task 2, but it will work in writing task 1 general also. But if you want to understand the things in much more clear way and better way, please keep in mind writing task 2. Everything that I'm going to say, try to connect that to writing task 2. Then it will work very perfect. So let us begin now. So this is a chapter on idea generation, and this will work for writing task. Now, why did I make this chapter? This is a bonus chapter, to be very honest. This is not a part of the course because people are very comfortable with generating ideas. But what I've observed in past 6 to 7 months is that there are 4 to 5 candidates in every batch of mine. So my batch generally consists of 20 to 25 candidates. You know this regular batch. And of those 25 candidates, 4 to 5 candidates have problem in generating the ideas. They have messaged me, they have given me a call, sir, I'm not able to get the ideas. I know everything about the writing task 2. I know what are the types of questions. I know the marking criteria. I know that I have to develop the idea. I know I have to pick a relevant idea. I know that I have to write 4 paragraphs. I know everything. But when I sit to write the essay, I don't get the ideas instantly. Or maybe I get the ideas that are totally wrong, because of which I can lose marks. I've observed this in many of the batches. Then I decided, why not make one chapter and try to help them? Alright, so this chapter will definitely help you to clear the air which is there, that is preventing you from getting the ideas clearly. Alright, okay, so let us see now. First of all, you should know what is an idea. When I say idea, in writing task 2, you have seen me saying this word idea. But what do you mean by idea? Okay. So what is the idea? What is an idea? Idea is the reason or point. Okay, so idea is your reason or your point on the basis of which you're going to argue your essay or discuss your essay. See, IELTS essay will ask you some question like, what is your opinion? Do you agree or disagree? What are the advantages or disadvantages? And you will argue. You will discuss those things. Either you will argue or you will discuss those things. But on the basis of some reasons, you will discuss or argue your reply on the basis of some reasons, or on the basis of certain factors, or on the basis of certain points. Whatever you call it, you can call them reason, you can call them points, you can call them factors, you can call them your thoughts. Overall, there are ideas. Alright, so in definition, we call it, it's a reason or the point on the basis of which you're going to put your thoughts, on the basis of which you're going to argue the essay, on the basis of which you're going to discuss your essay. Okay, so these are the points or the reasons on the basis of which you're going to argue. These are the points or the reasons on the basis of which you're going to discuss. These are the points or the reasons on the basis of which you're going to answer. Alright? Without clear ideas, you cannot write a band 7, 8 or 9 essay. Trust me, it is a fact. Without clear ideas, you should have clear ideas, plus they should be relevant. Alright? If you do not have the clear ideas or relevant ideas, you cannot get band 7, 8 or in fact even 9. So let us proceed now. I hope you know what is an idea, right? Okay, now Before I take you to the next slide, I want to tell you the number one reason why people are not able to generate the ideas, why they have so much difficulty in generating the ideas, why they waste so much time in generating the ideas. Most of the candidates, they generate ideas in just 3 minutes or 4 minutes max to max in the real IELTS test. You have to reach up to that level. But the candidates which I was talking about, 4 to 5 candidates, those who have problem in generating ideas, they spend a lot of time in generating ideas. Why? There is number one reason. Okay, there can be many reasons, but the number one reason that I have experienced is this: they are under misconceptions. They are under misconception. So what misconceptions? They think that they will get the bands, that is 7, 8 or 9 in IELTS writing only if their ideas are the best, only if their ideas are the entertaining ones, only if their ideas are the interesting ones. So they have this misconception that no, whatever point, whatever reason I'm going to take, it has to be the best, it has to be the most interesting idea of this topic, it has to be the most entertaining idea of this topic, it has to be the best idea of this topic. So they are looking for the ideas which are very best, they are looking for ideas which are very entertaining, they are looking for ideas which are very interesting. And that is the only and number one reason why people waste too much time in generating ideas, or they find generating ideas is really a tough job, or is really a difficult task. It is not a difficult task. You can get your ideas within a minute or 2 minutes max to max. But the only reason that is not happening because you're thinking of the ideas which is beyond your reach. Why it is beyond your reach? Because you're thinking of the best, because you're thinking of the entertaining, because you're thinking of the interesting. Okay? Now suppose I want to do one course on stock market, technical analysis. I don't know how many of you know this, but I'm taking whatever example is coming to my mind, and you know that I always go for the most simple examples. Okay, so I want to learn a course on stock market, and if I Google it out, there are 100 courses. Will I join any course? No, I want to find the best course. I want to find the most effective course, right? And it will take time. If I'm going to do that, if I have to pick the best course, if I have to pick the most effective course, then it will take time because I have to do a lot of research. Okay, so that is what's happening with you. You want to pick the ideas that are very best. You want to pick the ideas that are very entertaining. You want to pick the ideas that are very interesting. And of course, it will take time, right? But let me tell you, in IELTS, these three things are never assessed. Examiners do not care whether your ideas are relevant or not. Examiners do not care whether your ideas are the best or not. Examiners do not even care whether your ideas are entertaining or not. They just want ideas that are relevant to the topic. That's all. Okay? So, some myths. I've told you. People think that they have to find the best idea. Some people think that they have to get the ideas that are very interesting, or some people think that they have to get the idea that is very entertaining. But I've told you, if you believe in these three things, then definitely you're going to have a lot of problems in generating ideas. What problems? First of all, you will take too much time to get the idea. And second problem that you can have is you might not be able to explain them in detail. So if you have best idea, you might not be able to develop them because best ideas will require best explanations, right? Yeah, so don't do that. So if you pick ideas on the basis of these three things, then let me tell you, you're going to have two problems. One, you will waste too much time in picking the ideas, and second, you might not be able to explain them as clear as possible. But on the other hand, if you pick the most simple idea, but the relevant idea, but if you pick the most simple idea, you will spend minimum time on picking that, and you will explain those ideas in far effective and clear manner, and you will get the bands in that. All right, so these are just myths. Never ever think of the ideas that are best, never ever think of the ideas that are interesting, never ever think of ideas that are entertaining. These don't work. They are not going to do any good to you, but they will harm your essay. Okay, so now what is the reality? I've told you those three are myths. In reality, examiners want idea that is only relevant. You do not get extra mark for having a best idea or entertaining idea or interesting idea, but you certainly get an extra mark for the idea that is relevant to the topic. Okay, again I'm repeating, listen closely. You do not get an extra mark for ideas that are best, entertaining or interesting, but you do get an extra mark if your ideas are relevant to the topic. All right, so focus on relevancy rather than the best, interesting and entertaining. Okay, so finally now I'm going to show you some methods of idea generation. So there are many methods, by the way. There are 6 to 7 methods overall, by which you can actually generate the ideas, but I'm going to show you the 3 most effective ones. These are the 3 most common and effective ones, methods, which generally people use to generate the ideas, and they really work very good. Okay, so you watch entire lecture, you listen carefully every method, understand every method carefully, then you think whatever suits you. If you think no, the first method is good for me, then you generate the ideas as per first method. If you think no, first and second is not good for me, then you please generate the idea of as per the third method. So I'm going to give you 3 methods. You can follow whatever suits you. All right, cool, perfect. So the 3 common and effective idea generation methods are brainstorming. Okay, this is the most common and effective as well. Then idea web, and third, direct method, or some people call it informal method. Informal method. Just a second. Okay, so brainstorming, idea web, and third, direct method or informal method. So you can follow any of these. After you finish this chapter, you can take a call which one will work best for you. All right, cool. So let us see now step by step, how do we generate ideas by using brainstorming, how do we generate ideas by using idea web, and how do we generate ideas by using direct method or informal method. All right, cool. So the first and the most commonly used method for idea generation is brainstorming. All right, not brainwashing, brainstorming. Brainwashing is something different and brainstorming is something different. Okay, now don't think too much with this word brainstorm. It's just a fancy name. We do this, and we have been doing this since our childhood, since our school days. Okay, so let us see now process. How does this work? Okay, what exactly you have to do? First of all, there will be a topic. Every IELTS question, every IELTS essay question will have a topic. If you have attended my regular course, we see in detail, okay, all the 9 types of essays in detail, and after that you identify the type of question almost accurately, and you also identify the topic and the keywords that I've taught you, right? Because this is very important. If you do not identify the type of question, if you do not identify the topic and the keywords, you will not get the bands. And in my regular course, I spend, in fact, one entire chapter on types of questions and how to identify the topic and the keywords. Okay, so there will be a topic. Now make a list. So in brainstorming, you have to use a pen and paper, or it can be pencil and paper. All right, not pen and paper, or pencil and paper, but you have to make a list. So make a list of every idea that is coming to your mind when you look at the topic. Every idea, whatever ideas you get. All right, for example, problems of population. Okay, so I can say unemployment, poverty. So these are the ideas. So I will make a list: unemployment, poverty, then traffic, okay, then lack of resources. All right, then what else you can have? What can be the possible idea of having population? What are the problems of having huge population? Okay, unemployment, poverty, these are the 2 common things. Then densely populated areas, we get traffic problems. Yes, lack of sources. So I've thought 4 to 5 ideas, that's all. If I'm not getting ideas, I will stop it over there. Okay, but whatever idea you can think of, just make a list, okay, about the topic. See, about the topic, just words and phrases. Do not write entire sentences. Did you listen my example very carefully? Population problems. What are the problems of having huge population? Did I write entire sentence? No, I've just written in words or phrases. Unemployment, it's just a word, but I know it's a problem. Okay, poverty, it's just a word, but I know it's a problem. Lack of resources, just a phrase, but I know just a problem. So note down your ideas, make a list of your ideas in words and phrases. In words and phrases, do not write full sentences. Don't write in complete sentences. I've already told you this. Okay, why? So why? Because if you have 4 to 5 ideas about a topic, I'm damn sure you're not going to use all the 4 to 5 ideas in your essay. You might use 1 or 2 ideas. So why to waste time on writing sentences on those ideas which you're not even going to use in your essay? Okay, so just write your ideas in words and phrases, okay, initially. Don't write in complete sentences. But this is important. Do not skip or judge any idea. So whatever ideas you get, please note it down. Therefore, I've used the word make a list of every idea. That means do not miss, do not skip, or do not judge any idea. Don't miss any idea. If you think, no, this idea is very stupid, it doesn't matter, just write it down. I don't want you to skip any idea about that topic. Whatever comes to your mind, whatever idea comes to your mind about the topic, just make a note, because you never know, at the end of the day, that might be the best idea for you to write your IELTS essay. Okay, so even though if you feel that the idea is stupid one, please make a note of that. Then you decide whether it will work or not. But do not take a call at the time of writing itself that idea down. All right. Then after you have written every idea that you thought of, okay, then decide which ones are useful and which ones are not. So suppose if you have written down 5 to 6 ideas about the topic, then decide. See, you are not going to use all the ideas that you have written on a piece of paper. You might use 1 or 2 ideas. That means you have to filter out. You have to filter out some of the ideas that you're not going to use. Okay, or I can say other way around. You have to filter out 1 or 2 ideas that you're going to use. So you have to take a call now. You have 5 to 6 ideas before your eyes. You have to take a call which ones will work the best for me and which ones will not work the best for me. So how to decide? Whenever you see those ideas, just ask yourself one question, only one question. For example, there are 6 ideas that you have written and you're talking about idea number 1. Ask yourself, with regard to idea number 1, if I pick this idea for my IELTS essay, can I write more clearly and more developed explanation? If yes, then that is useful for you. Idea number 2, can I write more clearly and more developed explanation for this idea? If no, then it is not relevant for you. Idea number 3, okay, I think about this idea I can write more and I can write clearly. I can explain these things clearly because this is very familiar to me. Then that is a useful idea for you. So whether or not any particular idea is useful for you, that depends upon where you can write more and where you can write clearly. If you can write more and more clearly, if you can write more, means you can write in 3 sentences about that idea, and if you can write 4 sentences about that idea, okay. But if there is one idea about which you can write only 1 or 2 sentences, and there is second idea about which you can write 5 sentences, then of course idea number 5 is suitable for you. All right, so only one basis: which idea will help me, or which idea will enable me to write more and write more clearly. Those ideas are the useful ones for you. Rest, all the ideas are scrapped. All right, think of on which idea you can write more and clearly. This is the key on deciding which ones are useful and which ones are not useful. Okay, so after you have done all these things, then you know what are your ideas, and now pick those ideas and implement those ideas in your essay, and you will do really good. Trust me, you will have relevant ideas, plus you will have developed ideas also, because you have thought carefully that which ideas will be useful, and you have thought that on the basis of one thing, that where you can write more and where you can write clearly. So the ideas that you have picked are not only relevant, but you will be able to develop them. And this is how you get extra mark for a task response, because the ideas are relevant, and since you're going to develop that also, you're also going to get extra mark for coherence and cohesion. All right, so this is how brainstorming looks like. So this is a topic, Earth Defense Shield, and these are the ideas. Okay, these are the ideas, whatever ideas this guy had. Okay, he has just written everything, but you can see these are just words and phrases, not in complete sentences. He did not even think of grammar and spelling mistakes while he was writing these ideas in brief. Okay, then you have to take a call, like, okay, which idea will help me to write more and clearly. Whatever ideas come to your mind when you ask this question, those are your relevant ideas, those relevant and useful ideas. Pick them and use them. All right, so one advice I want to give: so when you start using this method initially, okay, do brainstorming for 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, initially, look at the word initially, not in the IELTS test, by the way. Initially, do this for 15 to 20 minutes. Take your own time, but as the time will go on by, you will get used to, and trust me, gradually it will come down to 5 minutes. It will come down to even less than 5 minutes. Okay, but in the real IELTS test, you have to do brainstorming only for max to max 5 minutes, because you're on the clock now. All right, so initially practice with this, but gradually you will come to this. In the test, you should do this only for 5 minutes, and you will be able to do that, I guarantee. Cool. So now, second method, idea web. Okay, one more common method and very effective, idea web. So that one was brainstorming, this is idea web. Okay, so process. Here also there will be a topic. See, every idea, okay, every idea generation method will have topic of the essay, right? Because question will remain the same. It doesn't matter which method you're going to use, but there is a question which has a topic. Okay, so here what you have to do, you have to put your topic at the center and circle it. Put your topic at the center and circle it. Put your topic at the center and circle it. Then, yeah, of course, draw a circle around. I've already told this. Then draw 4 to 5 lines extending from it. Okay, so put a topic, circle it, and just draw 4 to 5 lines, just like sun rays. Okay, sun, we circle it, then we extend the lines from it, right? Okay, so the topic is in the center, then we have 4 to 5 lines. Okay, at the end of one line, now think of only one line. So suppose I have drawn 4 lines, I have drawn 4 lines, I have drawn 4 lines. I'm thinking about only one line now. At the end of one line, write down any related ideas you think of. So you have written a topic in the center, you have circled it, you have extended the 4 to 5 lines, then think of one line. Okay, so this is the topic, so what can be the idea? Okay, then whatever idea came to your mind, just write it down, okay, and circle those also. So there are 2 circles. One, the topic, that is the main circle from which we have lines, and at the end of one line there is one idea, and you're circling that also. All right, we call it subtopic. So topic is in the center, and the ideas that we have is subtopic. All right, add any ideas and lines coming off of that line. So we have a topic in the center, we have a circle around it, we have 4 to 5 lines. In my example, we have suppose drawn 4 lines, and on line number 1 I have written one idea and I'm circling it. That means it is a subtopic. Now from that circle also I will make 1 or 2 lines, only 1 or 2 lines, and I will write any further idea about that topic which I can use while explaining those ideas in my essay. Okay, cool. Yeah, so what you're doing is that topic, your idea will be subtopic, then from that also you're making 1 or 2 lines and you're writing further ideas. Okay, like explaining that how this will happen. For example, population. What are the problems of having huge population? So population, I will keep it in a circle. I will draw 4 lines. On line number 1 I will write unemployment. I will circle it and I will write 1 or 2 lines. Why unemployment will be there if you have huge population? Because more people than job opportunities. All right, so that is my idea of idea. That is my idea to the idea, you can say. So you can do this. All right. After you finish one line, then go to second line. Okay. After you've exhausted one line, so I have told you in my example, suppose we have drawn 4 lines. So initially focus only on one line. So line number 1, you have written idea, you have circled that, and you can call it as now subtopic. You have drawn 1 or 2 lines from that subtopic, and you have written your 2 points over there. So your line number 1 is over from the central topic. Now go to the second line from the central topic and repeat the process. Now think of second idea about the topic. Circle it. You can call it subtopic. Again, draw 1 or 2 lines from that subtopic. Again, write some points over there. Okay. Keep on doing this till the time you have done with all the lines. Okay. After you have exhausted one line, return to the topic and do the same with the others. Means with all other lines that you have just drawn. Okay. Do this until you feel you have enough for your writing task. So keep on doing this. Okay. Just finish all the lines. Then ask yourself. Which subtopic here, I hope you know now, those are ideas. Which subtopic, okay, will help me to write more and clearly? And you can take a call on that by looking at the ideas to the subtopics. You can decide that by looking at the ideas to the subtopics. So those 1 or 2 lines that you have drawn from the subtopic circle will help you to decide which ideas will help you to write more and clear. Pick 1 or 2 ideas out of that and incorporate those in your essay. Trust me, your ideas will be relevant, and plus it will be far developed. And this is how you will get extra mark for task response as well as coherence and cohesion. Okay, so this is how the idea web looks like. See, so this is a central topic. Line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, and from line 1, so this is my idea number 1. I can call it subtopic. From that also I made one line. Okay, or from here also I can make one more line, or from here also I can make one more line. So it's a web. So once I exhaust my line number 1, then I will focus on my line number 2. Okay, then decide, should I use this idea, should I use this idea, should I use this idea? And you can decide this on the basis of ideas to the subtopics. Okay, cool. Of course, you have to practice these things, then only you will become master, right? Yep. So advice, again, when you practice with this method, if you think that this method will work for you, initially practice this strategy for 15 to 20 minutes, but in the real IELTS test, do it only for 5 minutes max to max, because you're on the clock, the same point. All right. So now with the last method, direct method, or you can also call it informal method. And let me tell you now a secret that I never shared with any of my candidates in these 6 years. The method that you're seeing on the screen is the method that I use for generating ideas from my essays. So this is the method that I use, and I find it very effective than all other idea generation methods. Okay, so if you want to use my method, if you think that by using my method you will have upper advantage, then please use this method. I'll be more than happy. But as I said, I don't want you to be very rigid. All right, be flexible. If you think that this method will not work for you, that's absolutely fine. Every person is different. Every person learns in a different manner. You might think that the brainstorming method or the idea web method will work best for you, then please follow that. All right, but I think as per my personality, this is the best. All right, so if you are anywhere near like me, this will work for you. So what exactly is this? Why this is the best method as per my personal opinion? You might not find this method the best. You might find brainstorming as the best. I've told you every person is different, but if you ask me, this is the best method. But why? So I'm giving my opinions that why this is the best. First of all, when you follow brainstorming and idea web, okay, that's okay, you can do that. But when you're thinking about the ideas under stress, of course, in exam you will be under stress, right? You will never find a person in exam hall who is stress-free, okay? Very rare, but most of the candidates in exam hall, let it be any exam, you take exam of IELTS or you take exam of UPSC of this country, you take exam of MBBS, you take exam of CA, candidates are under stress. And when you're under stress, you cannot think effectively. You cannot think effectively. You cannot think effectively. You cannot think effectively when you're under stress. Okay? Yeah, and it's a reality. Okay? So when you're under stress, you might be having difficulty to think effectively. And if you're not able to think effectively, listen this very closely. If you're not able to think effectively, then brainstorming and idea web will not work at its best. You can still make out some ideas, but brainstorming and idea web generally works more effectively when your mind is free from any stress, when you're not on the clock. All right? Brainstorming and idea web works when your mind is absolutely stress free, which is not possible, I think, in exam conditions. And whatever I just said, this is more true when the stress is under exam condition. Okay? So generally, under stress, you cannot think effectively. And if you cannot think effectively, brainstorming and idea web will not work at its optimum level. And if the stress is because of your exam, that means you're under exam center now. Now you're writing the exam. So your stress level will be too high, and definitely your thinking process will be impacted, and idea web and brainstorming might not work as it should have been. So this is more true. Whatever I said, this point is more true when the stress comes in an exam condition. That is the reason why I think that direct method or informal method. Sorry, I'm a tax guy, so indirect taxes. Okay. So direct method or informal method works perfect. Okay. Sir, are you trying to say direct method or informal method will reduce your stress of the exam? Yes, that's what I want to say. Direct method or informal method, whatever you want to call it, okay, it reduces the stress of exam. It reduces the stress of your exam. Since it is reducing the stress, you can think effectively and you can get relevant ideas and you can develop them also. Okay, cool then. So process. What is informal or direct? First of all, close your eyes. Sir, please don't tell us close your eyes. We think of our partners. Okay. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Sir, are you checking yoga classes right now? No, I'm not. But this works. Okay, this works. Close your eyes. But yeah, when I do write essay nowadays, when I use this method, I don't close my eyes. I don't take a deep breath because I'm used to this method a lot. I've been following this method right from the beginning of my IELTS career, and this is the only method that I rely on, and I'm so used to it that I don't have to close my eyes. I don't have to take a deep breath. Okay, everything comes automatically now. So close your eyes and take a deep breath. Now this is the important point. Imagine or visualize whatever you want to do. Imagine or visualize you are talking to your friend over a cup of coffee or tea in a coffee shop, or sipping up some beers or vodkas in some nice pub or bar. That means what I want you guys to do is just close your eyes, take a deep breath, and take yourself out of the exam center. Don't think that you're sitting in an exam center, okay? And you can visualize and imagine far effectively when you close your eyes. See, you can imagine with your eyes open also, but visualization and imagination, they're very effective when you close your eyes and imagine. When you close your eyes and when you visualize, that will be the best and that will be far effective. So close your eyes. Think that you're not in the exam center. That means you just take yourself out of the exam center and imagine that you're sitting in a coffee shop, maybe KFC, maybe Starbucks, maybe CCD. Okay, just imagine that you're sitting with your friend in a coffee shop and you're having your coffee or maybe tea. Okay, but if you're a guy like me who love drinks, if you are like that, then think that you're with your friends in a nice pub, in a nice bar, like Socials, all right? Socials, there may be Root Box, maybe Breeze Lounge, or these are good lounges of Mumbai, all right? And I've been almost to every pub, okay? Then Drinks Exchange, then Agents Jack. Just imagine that you're sitting with your friend and, you're having some nice beer and vodkas and checking out the people over there. I hope you have understood. Checking out means checking out whom, right? Yeah. So now this will help you to reduce your stress. it will, because you are right now mentally not in your exam center. You are mentally somewhere else with your friends, and that means your brain is released from the stress. Okay, then what, sir? Then imagine that your friend, whoever you imagine yourself with, your friend has asked this question to you. For example, population of problems. So what I will do, I will just close my eyes, okay, and I will imagine myself with my friend. I've got 4 to 5 very best friends, all right, and yesterday night itself we had a huge party. So I will imagine, okay, I'm sitting with my friend Guddu, and we are having hookah, we are having Red Bull, we are having vodka, and suddenly he asked me, Ganesh, tell me, what do you think are the problems of having huge population? So if my friend asks this question to me, do you think I will think a lot, or I will just say the answer spontaneously, whatever comes to my mind? Sir, if friend asks anything to us, we don't think a lot, okay? We just say the things that come to our mind, okay? That's what I want. That's what I want. Imagine that your friend has asked the question that is about the topic to you, okay? So what would be your answer or thoughts? Whatever answer or thoughts you would have if your friend would have asked you this, whatever answer or thoughts you would have if your friend would have asked this, that is your idea to go ahead with your writing task too. Those thoughts, those answers that you just gave when you imagine that your friend is asking this, those thoughts, those answers will work best for you. They will be relevant, plus you will be able to develop them, okay? So just do this. I do this. I imagine myself, all right, with my best friends in a nice pub, in a nice bar, in a nice shack, okay, having lots of drinks and great food, of course. And my friend suddenly asks me, Acha Ganesh, tell me one thing, blah blah blah. Then what will be my answer if he asks me? Trust me, whenever a friend asks anything, we give the most simple and straightforward answer. And that's what I want for my IELTS writing. I want the ideas that are very simple and straightforward. Because if the ideas are simple and straightforward, then only I can develop them. All right? Cool. So after this, whatever answer or thoughts you get, they would be more relevant. Okay? This method works the best because your thoughts, your answer are spontaneous, plus they are direct. They are not the result of too much of thinking. Why? Because I've imagined that these are asked by your friends, so you will give the honest answer, you will give the straight and simple answer. Therefore this would be more relevant to your essay. Okay, ask yourselves that, can I write more and clearly about these ideas? So if you give 2-3 reasons, for example, my friend Guddu is asking me, Ganesh, what do you think the problems of having huge population? So I will maybe unemployment and poverty. Then I will ask myself, okay, unemployment and poverty are my ideas, these are relevant, but can I write more about unemployment, or will I be able to write more about poverty? Will I be able to write more about unemployment, or will I be able to write more about poverty? If I think no, I think about unemployment I can write more, then that will be my idea that I will be using in my essay. Okay, so whatever answer or thoughts that you got when you imagine that your friend asked you this question, then ask on those answers and those thoughts where you can write more and clearly. Those will be your ideas which will work good for you. Okay, so this is how imagination looks like, right? Yep, you're sitting with your friend, you're having good beer and good munching. See, you can say munching over there, chakna, munching. And suddenly your friend, okay, asks you that, what do you think? And she gives the answer. Whatever answer she gave, those are the ideas for this person. That's all. Okay, cool. Advice again. Whenever you follow this method, initially do this for 15 to 20 minutes. But in the IELTS test, you have to follow this method also for max to max 5 minutes, because you're on the clock in exam, right? Yep. Sir, thank you very much. But, are you sure that these 3 methods will work? Yes, these will work. One method will work for you. 100% guarantee I give. One of these methods will definitely work for you. Now it is up to you which method you're going to pick out of these three. If you're confident that method number 1 will work, go for it. Don't follow method 2 and 3. If you think method 2 will work, go for method 2. Don't follow 1 and 3. Or if you want to try, you can try all the 3 methods, and once or twice you can follow all the 3 methods. Then you can take a call. Okay, I think this method will work the best for me. Then follow that method for the rest of your life for your IELTS writing. All right. Now, I'm also going to give you some extra information that will help you to generate ideas which are relevant. Okay, what are they? By the way, before that, let us see some examples. That how people mess up the ideas. This is the problem, means essay topic. Increasing the price of petrol is the best way to solve the growing traffic and pollution problem. So whatever we have just learned, I'm just showing you that how candidates unknowingly pick the ideas that are not relevant. Why? Because they did not follow any of these methods. Okay, they were behind best ideas, or maybe interesting ideas, or maybe entertaining ideas. That's the reason why they got ideas wrong. Some examples. Okay, increasing the price of petrol is the best way to solve the growing traffic and pollution problems. To what extent do you agree or disagree? What other measures do you think might be effective? Okay, so it's a dual question. One question is asking for opinion, and the other question is asking for solution. What other measures? Okay, so one solution they have given in the question, but they are asking you what other measures you can think of. All right, so we should have one idea for this, and we should have one idea for this. So one idea for this, one idea for this. That means first of all you have to decide whether you agree with this statement or you disagree with this statement. If you agree, then you have to give one reason for it. That means your idea. If you disagree, then you have to give one reason for it. That means whether you pick agree or disagree, you have to give one reason. That is one idea for this. And here you have no option to talk about agree or disagree because they're asking what other measure. So you need 2 ideas. Okay, so let us see now. Suppose if I go with disagree. Now there are some people, okay, when I checked the essay of my candidates on this topic, okay, most of them have chosen disagree. I don't know for what reason. Why? I think I've understood that after some time. They picked disagree on the basis of emotions. So what the hell you're trying to say? Okay, so they were like this. If you increase the price of petrol, then middle class people won't be able to, afford the petrol. And plus the costing or the price of the basic necessities like vegetables, milk, okay, all this will go up. Yes, if you increase the price of petrol, all these things will happen. People will face difficulty. The traveling cost will become costlier. All right, the prices of traveling will go up. The prices of vegetables will go up. The prices of fruits will go up. The prices of essential commodities will go up. And that's the reason why candidates say no, we should not increase the price of petrol. I disagree with this statement. They are taking the answer, means agree or disagree. They are deciding this on the basis of emotions. Okay, if I'm sure if you pick disagree on this topic, you will mess the entire essay. But if you go with agree, you will have wonderful essay on this. So never ever pick agree or disagree or ideas on the basis of emotions. Just ask where I can write more, where I can write clearly. All right. So one essay I have taken, and I'm showing you that how the ideas of that candidate are wrong. So he chose disagree. It doesn't matter, agree or disagree, that's fine. But idea should be relevant. So when I checked his idea for this answer, were like this idea. He was thinking, he was thinking that if you increase the price of petrol, okay, it will hamper the transportation of essential services. Okay, so therefore we should not increase the price of petrol. That means he disagreed to the increasing the price of petrol. He disagreed with increasing the price of petrol. Why? Because if you do that, it will hamper the transportation of essential services. Now this is an irrelevant idea. Why this is relevant idea? Let me tell you why this is irrelevant idea. Okay. First of all, question is talking about increasing the price of petrol to solve the growing traffic and pollution problems. That means if you agree or disagree with the statement, if you agree or disagree with the statement with this, if you agree or disagree with this, it has to be on the basis of this. So if he's saying disagree, he should give one reason. He should give one reason which should be like this. Or in short, what I want to say is that if he's picking disagree, then he should say that how, look at the word how increasing the price of petrol will not solve the problem of growing traffic and pollution problems. Again, listen carefully. He has chosen what? Disagree. Then he should say clearly, his idea should be clearly mentioning that how increasing the price of petrol will not solve the growing traffic and pollution problems. But suppose if he goes for agree, then his idea should be clearly mentioning how increasing the price of petrol is going to solve the growing traffic and pollution problems. So if you go with disagree, give one reason that why increasing the price of petrol will not solve the problem of growing traffic and pollution. If you go with agree, then you should give one reason that how or why increasing the price of petrol will solve the problem of growing traffic and pollution. But look at this. He has picked disagree, but look at the idea. He's talking about transportation of essential services. Array, topic is not about transportation. Topic is not even about essential services. Topic is about growing traffic and pollution problems. So you should talk about increasing the price of petrol, keeping in mind only and only the growing traffic and pollution problems. How increasing the price of petrol will solve the problem of growing traffic and pollution if you agree. But if you go with a disagree, then how increasing the price of petrol will not solve the growing traffic and pollution problems. But here he did not talk anything about. Traffic and pollution. He simply has written about essential services like milk and ambulance and all those things he had written. That was not even the part of the question. Okay, that means what he has done, he has written in general about the price of petrol. He has written in general about increasing the price of petrol. Okay, but he forgot. You have to talk about the topic, but also from the point of view of keywords. So therefore this idea is irrelevant. Then sir, what would be the idea? Okay, one more example of irrelevant, disagree. So there was one more candidate. She had written, if you increase the price of petrol, it will inflate monthly budget or expenditure. So everyone follow some monthly budget. Okay, like for example, I think 45,000 is my budget for my household expenses. Okay, only household expenses. This is my monthly budget, I know, on the basis of estimation. But if the price of the petrol is shot up, then I know that my budget will be increased now. So instead of 45,000, I might have to spend 50,000 now. Okay, but that is again irrelevant because they are not talking about budget or expenditure of a common man. They are talking about increasing the price of petrol, keeping in mind the growing traffic and pollution, not keeping in mind how it will impact the common man from the point of view of budget. Again, this is irrelevant idea. Okay, these are irrelevant ideas. So now let us take example. Okay, I will go with agree in this essay, and I will give one reason how. Idea: if you increase the price of petrol, it will become unaffordable for many. And if it is unaffordable, there will be less vehicles on the road. And if there is less vehicles on the road, automatically there will be less traffic. And once there is less traffic, less vehicles, less traffic, automatically less pollution. Of course, pollution has a direct connection with the traffic, right? If there are more vehicles, more pollution. If there are less vehicles, less pollution. That's all. But look at the idea that is directly addressing the topic. I'm talking about increasing the price of petrol, but keeping in mind growing traffic and pollution problems. Since my answer is agree, I'm clearly mentioning that how increasing the price of petrol will solve the growing traffic and pollution problems. Okay, because if you increase the price of petrol, it will be unaffordable for many people, and since they cannot afford it, there will be less number of vehicles on the road. And since there will be less number of vehicles on the road, there will be less traffic and automatically less pollution. But did I talk anything about common man? His pocket will be impacted. He will face the heat of the increased cost of vegetables and fruits. No, because essay is not about that, right? Cool. This is a relevant idea. One more example. Today, more and more tourists are visiting places where conditions are difficult, such as the Sahara Desert or the Antarctic. Okay. What are the benefits and disadvantages for tourists who visit such places? So this is advantages and disadvantages question. I hope you know that there are 4 types of questions in advantages and disadvantages, and I think you know this is a type 1, right? Okay, so today more and more tourists, okay, are visiting places where conditions are difficult, okay, and such as means example, okay, Sahara Desert or the Antarctic. So I have seen some essays and I've picked one essay. So there was one candidate, he has written like this. So advantage of this topic is that, sorry, I think this is disadvantage. Yeah, this is disadvantage. Sorry, because I've got a recording bar over here. The software that I'm using to record this video, I've got a bar, so I could not see. I think it's a disadvantage, or just wait. No, I will not do anything over here. Okay. Contaminates natural environment. So I think this is a disadvantage, though I cannot see first few letters. Contaminates natural environment. Okay. I think I have just messed it up. Okay. So this is, okay. Wait, I'll just change it. Okay. I'll just change it. This is disadvantage. Okay, really sorry. And this is advantage. I'm really sorry, I messed it up. Advantage. Okay, now I think it is cool. Yeah, so disadvantage, it contaminates natural environment. Okay, because more people will go, see, more and more tourists, right? So if more and more people will go, of course it will pollute the environment. But advantage is that that country will have good economic and social growth. But these are irrelevant ideas. Why these are irrelevant? Let me tell you. The questions asking about advantages and disadvantages to the tourist, for tourist. How this can be disadvantage for the tourist and how this can be disadvantage for the tourist. In fact, the candidate who has written this essay, he is mentioning advantages and disadvantages from the point of view of one particular country where these places are. He is talking these advantages and disadvantages from the point of view of government. So suppose in India there is one desert or maybe one area, I don't know, maybe Siachen. Siachen is very extreme, you know, people do not even go there. But suppose if lot people are going over there. Okay, so for Indian government, first of all, it will result in economic growth because more people are going there. That means that place will be developed. Okay, but it will pollute also. It will pollute the entire surrounding, because if you open any place for tourists, it will be polluted, right? But these advantages and disadvantages are not for the tourist. He is talking about advantages and disadvantages from the point of view of the government, from the point of view of the country. But question is clearly saying advantages and disadvantages for tourists. Therefore, his ideas are irrelevant, right? These are irrelevant ideas. So how we can have relevant ideas? Okay, advantage. Okay, if you go to places where conditions are difficult, like Sahara Desert or the Antarctic, first of all, you will have adventurous and thrilling experience. Of course, I'm talking about the tourist. Tourists will have adventurous and thrilling experience. Of course, you cannot have this experience when you go to normal place like Goa, Baga Beach. No, you don't have adventurous experience or thrilling experience. You will not have adventurous or thrilling experience if you go to Dubai Mall. Okay, yeah, but if you go to desert safari in Dubai, you will have adventurous experience. Okay, but yeah, Dubai safari is really dangerous because they do dune bashing and all. All right, sir, it seems you have gone to Dubai a lot of times. Disadvantage: lack of adequate facilities for meeting extreme emergency situations or conditions. So if you're a tourist and if you're going to a place where conditions are difficult, generally the places where conditions are difficult, we don't have infrastructure facilities. Okay, don't have means we don't have effective infrastructure facilities, plus that is generally far from the human civilization. All right, so therefore if you go to such places and if you meet with any emergency like accident or you have fallen sick, then there are not enough facilities for you. You being a tourist, you are going to face this problem. So what I'm doing is that I'm writing advantage and disadvantage, but from the point of view of tourists. So these are relevant ideas. Okay, relevant ideas. Now, I'm also going to give you some extra information. Every IELTS essay that you see is based on common topics. I'm not saying that the question will be as it is, but on certain topics, you will get the IELTS writing task too. So if you know some information about these topics, you will have advantage of generating ideas. Okay? So what are those topics? Every IELTS writing task 2 is either based on health. So you should know the things about health, okay? Like eating junk food will result into obesity and will result into heart attack. Everyone knows these things. So start reading about health. So start reading about health in BBC app or maybe in general in Google. But start reading articles about health. When you will get an essay on health, you will have an advantage, okay? Or there can be an IELTS essay on environment. So start reading about environment in BBC app or maybe in Google. Then you will have an advantage when you get the essay on environment. Okay. Then transportation, sport. Every IELTS essay is either on health, environment, transportation, or sport, or music. Okay. So start reading about music in BBC app or maybe in some Google article. You will have advantage when you get essay topic on music. Okay. Then globalization. Okay, so these are the topics. You should be reading about these topics. You should be reading about these topics. You should have some general knowledge about these topics. Then you will get the ideas that are relevant. Okay. Home, we don't have to have much knowledge because you already know this. So your essay can be on these topics. Okay. More, or the topic of the essay can be on family. The topic of essay can be on the population. The topic of the essay can be on the weather. So you should be aware of different weathers in this blue planet. All right. Okay. So read about weather in your BBC app or maybe in Google article. And if you get essay on weather, you will have an advantage of generating good ideas. Education. I see a lot of essays on education, by the way. I see. Okay. So start studying about education in general in BBC app or maybe in your Google article. You will have an advantage when you get the essay on that. Okay. Society, technology, and government. Okay, so these are the topics on the basis of which you will get your IELTS writing task 2. Take a screenshot or note it down and start reading articles on these topics. Trust me, your journey of IELTS writing will be far easier. You will be able to generate much more relevant ideas, and you will also be able to develop them because you know these topics, because you have read. Please, I beg you, I request you, start reading these things in BBC app or in Google article. All right, these ones and these ones. Okay, every IELTS writing task 2, you can relate that to any of this topic. Okay, that's all. So that was the end. Of this chapter. I'm really sorry, first of all, that I could not record this video because I was running very busy. It's a lockdown time. You know that work from home can get difficult sometimes, and that's what exactly happened with me. I'm really sorry, but today that is 30th October, all right, now it is 9:20 p.m. I started this at 8:30 or maybe 8:20, but I decided that I will record this chapter and I will give it to my regular candidates as well as my crash course candidates. I hope that this chapter will help you to get the ideas that are relevant. I hope this chapter will help you to develop your ideas much more effectively, and finally you get your band 7, 8, or in fact even 9. Alright, and take care.